Oh, hello there, yes, hurtling away through another week. I just thought I'd share with you the vital importance of a net zero referendum, which appears to be the latest thing that the Conservatives were wanting to push. We had the sight at the weekend of a variety of Red Wall and other Conservative MPs chatting about how desperately we need a net zero referendum. And it makes for interesting viewing because we have these people that were voted in 2019 on a Conservative Party manifesto which had a pledge to net zero in it. Now, either they didn't know that or they're now lying about it. I'm hazarding a wild guess it's going to be the latter. For example, we've got this one chatting to Michael Portillo, who undoubtedly knows that he's being paid by BGB News and therefore isn't going to mention the net zero manifesto pledge. Yes, but probably of all of them, my favourite one is Jim Dale. Jim Dale, not him, but Jim Dale, renowned meteorologist from the Express. If you ever wonder why all of those stories in the Express, about once every sort of fortnight, they'll run a story on their front pages saying that it's going to be 95 degrees Fahrenheit in the UK. Torquay. It's going to be 95. It's going to be steaming hot, 95 in Torquay. Or that Britain's going to be battered by 75-mile-an-hour winds in the Orkneys. That's Jim Dale, not that one. Yes, indeed, renowned meteorologist that he is. I love this write-up from Amazon. Yes, renowned that he is. Working with other people who come from Soto Voice Global Warming Foundation. Yes, I wonder if they've got any particular views about where their money's coming from. Indeed. But probably the biscuit, the pièce de résistance, the, I don't know, whatever faux phrase I can come up with at the weekend, was Esther McVeigh, who didn't actually suggest a net zero referendum, but what she was suggesting was that Rishi Sunak needs to be really Thatcherite in his reshuffle and make sure that there's Conservative victory and ensure her job, because it's nice to be supplemented in your GB salary from being a Conservative MP. But anyway, let's listen to her and then we'll have a quick chat about some radical ideas I have, which I'm sure she'll be really keen on.
The moral of the story is, if you run a country like a socialist, you will pay the consequences of socialism. As Lady Thatcher said, the problem with socialism is you'll always run out of other people's money, and we are living proof of that. The country needs Rishi to show more of that Thatcher steel, to give the country some home truths about what the country can't afford and the hard work needed to get this country back on track, about discipline and fair play. Oh yes, and about what a woman is. Mrs. T would also have known that. Rishi can certainly take some comfort from the economic news this week. Inflation fell again, down to 6.8% from 7.9%, and growth forecasts were up for the last 2 quarters, unlike Germany, which has sunk into recession. Rishi needs to go for growth. He needs to relax the net zero targets, and by doing so, lower energy costs for companies and households. He needs to deregulate, making Britain a place where companies are free to innovate and try out new technologies, a haven from stifling EU regulations, which is why so many of us voted for Brexit. He needs to provide escape from the doom loop of rising debt, leading to rising taxes, lower growth and rising debt again. Only a true Thatcherite Conservative response will get the country out of the mess it's in, and Rishi needs to seize the moment. The impending reshuffle gives him a chance to truly set out his stall, but only by finding his inner Thatcher will he be able to deliver it.
Yes, Margaret Thatcher. She occupies the same space in the Conservative mentality that Ronald Reagan does in the Republican Party. The problem with both of them is they wouldn't be welcome in their parties because that's not what their parties are involved in anymore. Margaret Thatcher was a leader. She had a real vision, and it's something that is patently obvious in our current kleptocracy. It's worthwhile calling our government that because it's exactly what they are. So if you want some really radical things, I would suggest an actual market, forces being applied, for example, in the labour market. So get rid of all in-work benefits. Okay? No more propping up low pay. Let's have that as a radical Thatcherite idea. Okay, yeah, let's make sure that companies actually have to pay people money that they can live on, otherwise they won't come in. Try that one. Also, if you want to be really Thatcherite about it and you want to liberate British industry from the shackles of the state, no more state subsidies. Let's have a proper energy market. So in the summer, when renewables will basically provide all of our electricity, we can have electricity that basically doesn't cost anything. Let's try that, shall we, Esther? I don't think it'll happen though, will it? No. What they'll bring in with their true Thatcherite agenda will be less pay for you and more pay for their mates that actually own GB News, because after all, that's the game, isn't it? And you, the suckers, really need to fall for it. But pay for it ultimately, you undoubtedly will. And Esther knows this. And the net zero target guys know it, and Jim Dale in his heart knows it as well. That's why, unfortunately, he'll never star with the biggest dog in the world. Poor man. Anyway, do have a lovely week.